All right, so now that we've got all that, let us move on to our jumping on our slime. What we want to do is add an event to player, and we go to player box, and we are going to say player box on collision with another object, and that object's going to be slime. And we need a few more conditions here because we only want to collide with the, when we collide with the slime, we have to see whether or not we hit it or not. So in this case, we are going to say, we're going to add another condition. And this condition is player box compare position, or excuse me, compare y. And then y is less than, you know that code we did before? Slime.y. Okay, so what's y and x? All right, if you have all ever seen a grid, you'll have noticed that y and x are the axes. You know, normal kind of stuff. I'm bringing this up on the other screen. So a normal axis, this is the x and this is the y. So in video games, this is still the same, but there is one noticeable difference. This point is 0, 0, the top left part. This is positive x. The positive y is inverted from the player, from normal. So what that means is this upwards is negative, downwards is positive. So we can see this when we actually go into our layout. If we go to the top left of our layout and we look at our, see this coordinate thing on the bottom here, the mouse, blah, blah, blah. Let's go all the way up to the top, right at the top corner, mouse 0, 0, or close to it. If we go upwards, we're going into the negative, negative 100, negative 200, and onwards. If we go downwards, positive, positive, positive. The reason for this is because video games render everything from the top left corner and it goes down. So it's a little confusing if you didn't realize it, but once you realize it, it's very obvious and it's just standard. That's the way you're going to see it almost everywhere. I can't think of a time when I hadn't seen it that way. So for our y is less than slime.y, which means that if slime.y, the origin point right here, so less than is anything above it, okay? So anything above it then allows you to jump on the head of it. Oops. So now that we've got that, we also, then we can add the next, or we can add the action. Set add action slime, and we're going to set value of anim state to death for the slime. And actually, you know what? Before we do that, no, not here. We don't want to do that here. We want to add one more thing to the slime, because the slime is also going to have a death animation. We're going to add an instance variable to slime. It's a Boolean. This one's going to be called isDying. And it starts false. And we're going to add another condition here. This one is going to say slime is Boolean instance variable set isDying. Is that true? Is it false? So if the slime is not currently already dying, right, because we're going to have the animation play, it's going to make a sound effect, all that kind of stuff. All right, so here we are going to say add action, and then we're going to say slime set value, or excuse me, not set value, set Boolean is dying to true. We're going to say set platform of player box, set platform, set vector y. This says set y component of motion. what this means is it pushes, it's like a push that is happening. And it's either it happens once, discrete, or continuously. Continuous is different from discrete. So question? No? Okay, cool. So set vector y. We are going to say set vector y to -500. And that's just going to make that little bounce happen. And set dying is true, set vector. Let's just press play, see what happens so far. It's not going to be done yet, but it should bounce up. Boink. And it only happens once. Also, I'm still getting damage, so we're going to have to handle that in a sec. But that's okay. We'll deal with that in a minute. So we say is dying, set dying is true, set platform. And now let's figure out how to combine this with our other code, right? Our slime, our collision with slime code. So the only thing we're going to need to do here is we're going to say right-click, add another condition. And we're going to add a condition to player box on collision with slime. Player box, add another condition. Player box, compare y. Compare y is equal to or greater than slime.y. .y. So, and I'm gonna move this down here just because I want it next to each other. There we go. So I can look at it next to each other. So just press play. So now when I jump, I'm still flashing. Ooh, that might have been the wrong way to do it. Yeah. Maybe it's the opposite. I always mess this one up. Yeah. Oops, that was it. Boing. And I jump on it. And I only jumped on it once because that state happened. And now if I'm standing next to it, I flash. So now that we have the slime, we're bouncing off the slime, slime set is dying to true. Let's add the event to handle the slime dying. So slime, compare instance variable, anim state is equal to death, or not anim state, excuse me. Is Boolean instance variable set is dying. When is dying is true, slime set animation to death. And we're going to do some other stuff in there in a little bit, but we're going to just wait a second and then destroy it. So we're going to go to that system wait command again, system wait, 1 second, add action, slime, destroy. That actually eliminates it from the map. So it's going to play the animation, it's going to wait, and then it's going to kill itself. On collision, yeah, I think that should be good. It flashes, bounce off of it. And ooh, it still moved back and forth a little bit. I didn't like that. So we're going to also set do all the rest of the stuff that we need to do. So on collision with y is dying. Set dying to true. That means that this means dying is false. So add another condition. Slime is Boolean instance variable set is dying. Invert it. There you go. So now it won't walk back and forth if it is dying, excuse me. Invert. All right. Saving it, just oops. Every time I hit Control S, it just saves it to the, it like tries to save the page. All right, cool. So now that we have that slime, let's look at our layout. Let's do a little bit more artwork, a little bit more help on that. We're going to take our slime, or our layout. Right now we only have in our layout, we go to, oops, do not need this as much. Go to your event sheet. Where's my, I think one of my windows is closed. Nah, that's cool. What am I trying to find? Your layout, excuse me. Go to your layout, menu, layers. Where's my layers? That's what I'm looking for. There it is, excuse me. For some reason I kept going by it. So in your layers right now we have layer 0. We're gonna rename this main, M-A-I-N. And main is at 0 right now. So we're gonna add a Gui layer, a graphical user interface layer to get some of the menu artwork up on here. So we're gonna add, before we do that, we're gonna select our main layer and transparent. It's unchecked. I want you to check it. It's just gonna make the background gray. And then I want you to make another, add a layer to the bottom. See how it's below main? This is very important. And call this sky. And this layer, uncheck the transparent option, and the background color, just do like a light blue. It looks a little too close to our alien, actually. Let's do like a light purple kind of thing. Real light, just some off color. Ooh, also bright, too bright. Let's do something more dark blue. All right, that looks a little bit better, I think, for our character. I just don't want to blow anyone's eyes out as we work through this. All right, so now that background is blue, we're gonna select the main again and right click and add a layer at top. And this one we're gonna call GUI. Now you'll notice something. There's a little number here, there's a 1, and now main is at 1 and sky is at 0. That's because sky is the 0th layer. Main is now the number 1 layer. So these numbers will move on you. And it's very important to make sure that you're adding stuff to the right layers. So I'm going to lock my sky layer. I don't need that. And I am going to then click on my GUI layer and only interact with it with my GUI layer for a little bit. So I'm going to right-click Insert. Now that my GUI layer is selected, Insert New Object. This time I am going to insert text. Not text box, but text. And this one, I'm going to just click somewhere kind of near my character's starting position. And this text, right now it's blue on black on blue. That's terrible. So I'm going to just hit the color and make it white. And I don't want italics. Just want that. All right. And this just says text. The text box, if you wanted to change the initial value, you could say score. And colon and space if you wanted to, or score colon space 0. And if we press play, this item is just going to float somewhere on the screen. Oh, actually, there's one. So we are, instead of having it, we're going to put this up on the top left, just so that that's usually where scores are. And then we're going to have to do some work here. So let's go to our event sheet and let's add a global variable. And let's call this game score. And the number initial value is going to be 0. And we need to earn points somehow. So we're going to go down to the slime death. And now that we know the slime is dying is true, all this kind of stuff, where do we want to put it? We want to probably put it right when the slime disappears from the world, or you jump on it, somewhere around there. So player box on collision, somewhere around here, probably right here. So add action, and then we are going to say system add to game score, and we're going to do a value of 10 every time you kill one of the slimes. Add 10 to game score. Now if we press play, try again. Actually, let's press play in the debug mode. you'll see here's our character, here's our score, and where's our score? In here, current layout, layout sky, layer GUI, system, global variables. Here it is. Game score is 0. Let's go jump onto the top of that guy. Boop. Game score 10. Also, I noticed the slime was not moving. I'm just going to fix that. For some reason, something weird was happening. Walk left is dying. Is oh, this is why. Invert. I made an error here. Is dying is false, so now that'll work. So system add 10 to game score. But you notice the score didn't update. We actually have to tell it to do something. So every time I add to score, I am going to then also set text. So go to the text bar, or actually before we do that, we'll make the name of the object. Right now it's called text. That's bad. We want this to be called score. Text. Or menu underscore score. That's better. Menu underscore score. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell it what to be. So add action, system, menu score. And there's 2 places here, right? You could do add to, set value. This is instance variables. This is wrong. You want to say set text, which is down here at the bottom. Set text or append text, but this is set text. We want set text. Now, the stuff in quotes is the actual words we type. So we want to say score, :spacebar, and that will put all the characters that I just wrote in there. And now I want to press space, ampersand, which means also. And then we're going to type in the global variable player, or a game score. See how this has a little global circle, a little world, which is oriented on the North and South Americas because we are North and America South focused apparently. But we double click game score. Score is blah and game score. So what's going to happen is it's going to print this out, and then it's going to print out right after it, right here, the game score of whatever game score is at the time. And it's going to update it right at the beginning there. Or not right at the beginning, right after we add to the score. Press play, 1 up, and check out the score there. Bam, plus 10. There we go. So now that we've got a score, we can lock. We can lock the layer. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do a timer first as well, just so that we have the timer on there. I forget what let's say maybe it's 300 seconds or something. I'm on the Gui layer still. Let's insert a new object. And this one is going to be called, this one is also going to be called sprite. Oh, sorry, excuse me, not sprite. Insert new object. This one is also going to be called text because Mario's GUI is mostly text, so we're just going to stick with that look. The color is going to be white. And it's going to be kind of in the top right. And all right, that's good. So now that we have that, we want to add an event. And what we want to do is add a behavior to this text box. Now we can add this to anything we want, but we're going to go here, add behavior, add timer. So now that we've got this, what this does is allows us to just call an update every so often. And timers, they're either they keep track of all of our data. So let's add that behavior, event sheet. Add event, And this one is, ooh, I have not named the new text box. Let's go back and do that. This one is going to be called Gui Timer. Add event, Gui Timer. On timer. Oh, excuse me. This is for something completely different. I messed up my notes, but my apologies. So we're not going to add that behavior. Let's delete that. Select that text, behavior, remove that. We'll do that later. Timer is a super cool thing. We'll do it later. Let's do event sheet and add another global variable. This one is going to be called time or game time. An initial value, let's say it's like 300 seconds. I forget what it is in Mario, but it'll be 300 for now. And then we are going to say add event, not system every tick, add system every tick, add action, Gui timer, set text to timer, colon, space, and then ampersand, game time. And it's game Tim because I forgot to type in the E. And if you notice, if I change that, it'll automatically update anywhere else as well, which is another really nice, powerful thing about certain game engines. So we want to set text to timer.game time, and then we are going to we're going to take away. So we're going to say, or not Gui timer, excuse me. We're going to say system, subtract from, game score, and the value is going to be, excuse me, where's my notes? It's DT. Subtract game score, we're going to subtract DT, which is delta time from timer. Oh, not game score, blah, excuse me. Now it's running on hour 3. Game time, excuse me, minus DT from game time. And then let's press play. Let's see what happens. It's probably gonna, yeah, there you go. See how that time's going down? Now we want to eliminate all this number crap. This is not great for our timer because it's always messing stuff up. So we are going to merely round. So we're gonna go back in here, subtract DT, set text to timer and game time. Instead of game time, we're gonna say, oh boy, round. All right, I just need to remember the thing. Round, parenthesis, game time. There we go. It's still going crazy in the background, but it rounds it to the nearest, so it's much easier now. There we go. Starting to look like a game. Let's get the camera working now. I'm just going to give you a standard camera that's attached to the player right now. It'll be your, we're going to also have, in Mario, the camera will scroll all the way to the right. You will have to figure that out on your own. So I'm just going to give you a standard camera for you to mess with. So to do that, let us create, let us add to our player box. We want to add another behavior. And this one is going to be scroll to. There it is. Oh, and actually it's not the, yeah, it's the player box. So scroll to. And then system, or on the start of layout, if needed, I think scroll to is automatically enabled. So if we just press play, it should just whip to it. There you go. There we go. Our camera now attaches to the character and goes along with it. And we can watch that animation better now. that's so sad. But if you noticed, where'd the GUI go? Where'd the GUI go? Because we want this stuff to be appearing all the time, right? So to fix that, let's remember the thing that we talked about at the beginning. This dotted line here, which is a little hard to see now, this dotted line is the screen. So the representation of the screen is on the top left portion of the game window. These scores, if we didn't have the camera, the scores are exactly right where we want them to be. Maybe this one's over here a little more. But it's mostly where we want them to be. So what we want to do is make this text not move. So let's select the GUI layer, which probably is still selected. And see this parallax? We want to set the parallax at 0. Parallax is the idea that you can make two objects, like if you take two sheets of paper, and one of them is moving at a different rate than the other one based off of the movement. Now this is of the character. Now this is something you've seen really often in all sorts of side-scrolling platformer games. If you set it to 0, it means that whatever is on the GUI layer, on this layer, it will never move from the position on the screen that it's at now. So let's press play and just see what happens. There it is, score, timer, jump up, right, left. It'll stick with you the whole time. Oh, it looks like there's a little bug there. I'm gonna go fix that bug. We have it a second. So the bug was that when the player was, walked across the slime, is invincible, is dying. Subtract 1 from player HP. Oh, we don't set is dying to true. Okay, I'll come back to that in a sec. I just want, we'll move on. Because it mostly works. Yeah, so having that camera is very valuable to move around with. So let's figure out bricks, okay? Bricks are a little bit difficult. Let's insert a new object. We're going to call this one brick. And this is my process. Other people, if you look online, have done different ways. This is the way I like to do it. And we're just going to place it. We're going to add some artwork. Again, Kenny's art assets are great. Let's go into items. Not items. Tiles. I am going to use, since these boxes are so nice and have exclamation points and things, let us use this box here with one cross. And let's make sure that the image point is at 0, 0. And let's make sure it's called brick. And let's make sure that the artwork is shaped to the right size of a standard brick. Now that we've got that, oops, excuse me. So what we want to do is be able to detect when the player is underneath it, and to be able to figure out, when it hits it. But also, if the player is like right here, it shouldn't be able to, bump anything unless you're actually underneath it and hitting it. And then you have to be able to detect which box are you actually hitting, because you can't hit two at once. So just try to bring up my note on this. Collision. So, boy, I thought I had this on my notes. As we have this brick, we are also going to create another instance, or an invisible trigger. And this invisible trigger is right underneath. And I'm going to, again, use my magenta colored artwork. And this one is just a box. And it is going to be called hitbox or brick hitbox. And I'm going to make this smaller than my brick. And I'm actually going to take off my grid snapping for once. Because I want this brick, I want this hitbox to be kind of inside of it. Because what happens is you can walk on top of it and underneath it. And so for me, what I'm going to do is create this little hitbox. And this is the thing that is going to make the box go up. Otherwise, it's just going to be a normal object. And I'm going to select this. All right, I'm going to select this box. And I believe I'm going to create a container. And that container is a grouping of objects that will affect things. So, and if you delete one, you're going to delete all of it. It's a really valuable tool set. But if one object in the container is destroyed, everything else in the container is also destroyed. So when we delete the bricks, we can also delete that. And if a condition picks one object in the container, all the objects in that container are picked. So this is so that we can isolate those bricks bouncing up and down. So we have the brick, and now we're going to create a container with the brick and the brick hitbox. So now this is one object. See how it highlights? So they're connected now, which is nice. Or at least it will be nice when we end up doing code to it. So on our layout, on our event sheet, we are going to create another event, add event. This is again going to be player box, and then it's on collision with another object, and this is brick hitbox. And hopefully this works correctly without my notes. And on collision with brick hitbox, brick, and then we're going to say set. Ooh, we don't have set vector y or anything of that nature because we do not have them as moving platforms yet. So excuse me, we have to do one more thing. Select your brick, add a behavior, add new behavior, and we are going to be creating a solid object. So on player box, on collision with hitbox. And the other thing we need to do is open up the brick, and we need to create. This is animation 1, which is now known as idle because I'm making more than one. Add another animation, and this one is going to be called bounce. And for this, all I'm going to do is duplicate or copy. Paste. Here, I'm going to redo this. Delete that. Duplicate from that one. Rename. Bounce. Select this. And right now my artwork is also not the right size. So I have to actually resize and align to center. Keep aspect ratio. The height, it needs to be just like 120. Oh, aspect ratio is the same. Undo. I don't want to keep aspect ratio, excuse me. So height is 120, and that just allows me to get a little distance on my box artwork. I'm just going to move it up a little bit, and then origin point is still there. Okay, great, cool. So, let's double check the bounding box just to triple, quadruple check. Ooh, that's ugly. Look at how ugly it is. See what happens when I check? The good things happen. Because we don't want any of this getting messed up. Origin point, bounding box. Uh-oh. All right, I'm just going to do it one more time. Duplicate. Rename. Bounce. Resize. 100. Artwork. Whew. Okay, so that should work. On collision with hitbox. Add action brick. Set animation to bounce. Add action system, or not set, add action, add event, brick, on finished, on any finish, on finished, bounce, add action, brick, set animation to idle. You just have to make this complete the circuit. Player box on collision with brick hitbox. Set animation to bounce. Let's just go see if this works at all. Oh, whoops. See, I did something wrong. It's on my GUI layer still. Let me go fix that. So these objects are right now in the GUI layer. I'm going to select them both. Layer, GUI, main. Now they're on main. I'm going to lock my GUI layer, and I'm actually going to hide it just so I don't forget or mess with it. Because if I have this selected and it's locked and I add something, it'll actually add to the GUI layer. I don't know if I like that, but that's just the way this works. So main, let's do main now. There we go. And this should animate. I'm not sure if it did or not. I'm going to just add a little detail to the bounce part. Good. Try again. And let's go see. Yep, it looks like there's a little line happening. It's just kind of hard to see. So I'll make this nicer, this animation nicer, so that it's a little bit easier. Bounce. I'll delete this ugly stuff. And let's do a really big bounce. Duplicate. Duplicate. And now, duplicate again. There you go. Boink. And I can jump on top of it. Or actually, I can't because I'm not tall enough. So that's the other thing. One of the things you're going to want to do is grab your player box, and you're going to need to mess with the jump speed and jump strength just a little bit. You're going to need to make it look and feel more like Mario. There we go. Now we can walk on top of it. Okay? So, what about power, right? Or star power. So we already have that invincible. Actually, you know what? I think you have enough hooks for star power. I think we should move on. We'll move on to something else. But doing star that kind of stuff is easy to do. It's just doing some of the same stuff we've already been doing. Okay. Let's do a flagpole. Okay. I'll do the flagpole with you guys. Now that we've got our little terrain. Oops, our snap to grid is off. And we're going to create ourselves a flagpole. For now, let's create 2 objects. Let's create insert new object, sprite. This one is going to be just a line. Oops. All right, there you go. That's just a line. And I'm going to decrease it in size down to 1 cube. Oh, I have to do more work to it. And I should make it a bigger line, really. So this is going to be our flagpole. And I'm doing it on the left-hand side just, for ease of use. Like, just so I know that it's where it's at all the time, and it lines up with my grid the best. And this one's going to be called pole or flagpole. And if you have artwork, you could actually make this a tiled background. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe that's what we'll do. Insert new object, tile background. So if you make it a tile background, then you can grab it here. And then if you scale it up, it just goes up. Yeah. We're going to call this flagpole. Oops. I have to delete the old one. Even if you delete it in here, they still exist over here. So be careful when you're adding and deleting lots of stuff. But flagpole. And I don't think flagpole does anything. So that's right there. We also need ourselves, though, a pennant. So that's going to be a sprite. Or the flag, right? But we're going to call it pennant because we're going to make a triangular flag. And this one is going to line up right here on the right because, ooh, very big. Oh, and the origin point for this one is right here. There you go. Now we've got a little flag. Let's make sure we have a ramp that actually goes up to this. Like, I just want all the appropriate artwork set up so that I know. Yeah. That should be good enough for walking up to it and then also not hitting it by accident. We've got flagpole, and then we've got, we have one more thing to do, insert new object. This is also a sprite. And this is just going to be, I'm going to use this as a green area. Image point, top left. Drag this in. And what this is going to be called pennant goal or ground, but the place where we're going to end our event or where this needs to collide with. So this is going to drag down like this. And we're going to just make this really weird object. It's going to be a player-based thing. So player box. Player box, set position or on collision with. This one's going to be flagpole. So when collision flag is flagpole, we need another variable. We're going to go player box, instance variable, Boolean. This one's going to be called is finished. Or is flag finished. So in flag finished, so we're going to set that to true. Add action. Player box, set Boolean, is flag finished to true. Oh, excuse me. That was the wrong thing. It is on the flagpole that we set that. Excuse me. So not on the player box. remove, delete. So on the flagpole, we're going to have an instance variable. It's going to be called is finished Boolean. Initial value is going to be false. And we're going to set that to true. Somewhere, set value, set Boolean is finished to true. Okay, so we're going to add action. Now that we've had that true, we're going to set this as the add condition, flagpole is Boolean instance variable set is finished false. So basically, we only want this to collide the player one time, and then it sets it to the game. The player is finished. Now we're going to say player box, platform, set enabled, disabled. We're going to say player box, gravity, set gravity to 0. We are also going to say pennant, which is not called pennant yet, it's called sprite 2. Let's fix that. We're going to add action, pennant, set position, actually, we're going to just add, set position, not set position to another object. This object is going to be the player. And image point 1, which we don't have yet. So go, just as a quick sidestep, go into your player artwork and go to image points. Right now, there's only 0, or there's only 1 of them. Add a new image point. This is image point 1. And then rename this to flag. You don't have to, but you want to place this over here on the right-hand side, the flag deal. And the hand is going to be somewhere over here. Apply to all animations. We're just going to apply all of it because we only need it in just one specific animation. But we just want to make sure it always works. And it's just going to attach right there. Add action, system, and then, we'll do that. We'll do that in a second. Gravity set 0. So let's just double check, make sure this all works before we move on to the next part. So what should happen is I jump onto this, and then once I jump onto it, I fall like a rock, but so does this pennant with me. And then nothing should probably happen after that. Woo, almost. So once that's there, then what we're going to do is turn on, we're going to create another state. And that one is going to be called, it's going to be a player box. And from the player box, it's going to be a Boolean value. And it's going to be, we have not set it yet. Excuse me. We have to add it first. Player box, instance variable, add instance variable, is scoring, or is flag scoring. Initial value is false. We're going to set this to true. Is flag scoring is true. And then as that is happening, add event to player, player is Boolean instance variable set is flag scoring to true. So when that is true, we're going to move the player down like manually. until they collide with that score bit at the end. So is flag scoring true? Player box set vector y to 50. And let's just see and make sure that that goes down. It might be bad. Oh, I was on the floor that time. Nope. Oh, I'm gonna, instead of set gravity to that, let's just set gravity to something low. Set platform gravity to 50. I just want to get that motion right, and then we're gonna add the scoring of the flag. Whee! That's dumb. Or, oh, excuse me. It's not set platform disabled. It is set controlled. It's set ignoring input. Start ignoring input. I think that was my error. Set platform vector y. There you go. Whee! Boop. Okay. Ooh, the other thing is that position, set position to image point 1. We're just going to set this manually because I'm going to wrap up. So player box, set position of player to image point 1, so it goes down the whole time. And let's do some cool scoring junk. Let's make let's do a little bit of extra stuff. So we're going to say set value, or not set value, but add to game score. And then we're going to say distance pennant dot x, comma pennant dot y. I'm pretty sure we can just do this on the x, but this is the way I have my notes. So pennant goal dot x pennant goal dot y, and then end parenthesis. So that's the number that we're going to get. So add that to score, and then score should probably, oh wait, we probably want to update the score text as well, right? System, or set, oh wait, let's go find that set text from before. Gui Timer, menu, set text, press play. And then our score should go up as you go down. Whee! Maybe it's adding a little too high, but that's it, right? Oh, and it did not stop, so it needs to stop. So, oh, and that's because is flag scoring is still true. So what we're going to do is add an event to player box, on collision with another object, click to choose, pennant goal, add action, or yeah, set flag scoring to false. Whoops. Boop. There we go. So that's all we're going to have time for today. The things that we didn't cover. Oops. The things that we did not cover that you will have to think about is becoming big and small. You're going to have to create a second layout and warp to it. This is the tunnel, because in Mario 1-1 there's a little tunnel area with a bunch of coins. You're going to have to create coins. You're going to have to create a turtle enemy, the snail. You're going to use the snail for that artwork. You are going to also have to create, I believe there's a fireball power. So you'll want to create a fireball suit plus powers. And you're also going to need to come up with, let me see if there's anything else. No, I mean, I think that's most of it. I can't think of anything. Oh, the other thing you're going to need to do is create artwork suited for Mario. So as you are Mario 1-1. So as you are creating this assignment, what I am expecting from you is to create Mario 1-1 square by square. So a square in Mario is 32 by 32, or at least the measurement you're going to use. So if you bring up Mario 1-1, the World 1-1, and use it next to this video, you'll be able to, in fact, why don't I do that right now? Mario 1-1. So you're going to make a 1-to-1 representation of this. So each square here is going to be a 32 by 32 block. This hill, I want you to put a hill that is similar in shape and size right here. I want you to put a bush right here. I want to make 3 bushes that are connected right here. Kenny's art assets have artwork that you can use and then just modify or layer on top of each other. This brick, that was another one. You'll need to create, you'll need to be able to, bricks must be breakable. They must be, and you already know how to bounce off of one, so really all you need to do is break it now. And they also must spawn mushrooms, and then mushrooms, mushroom behavior, right? Like there's a specific behavior that mushrooms do. They pop out and then they move around and bounce off of stuff. So the bricks are breakable and they spawn mushrooms and other things. There is also one invisible block. So if you keep going here, the clouds too. There's one invisible block. Oh, did I? Right here. No? Oh, right here. Excuse me. Thank you. So there's one invisible block right here. You'll want to include that as well. So just whatever you need to do. And also the number of enemies and the position of them in their starting positions and how far they go back and forth. All should be the same. And then this here, this is the little world. To go through here, you just go through this pipe. So you're going to create a pipe. You're going to go through it. It's going to go to a different layout. Then you're going to come back out the other side at this pipe B. And then the only other thing, the end sequence is something that's mostly animations and other stuff. You're going to want to use that. You're also going to have to create ending animation plus a particle system for explosions. So there's a little like fireworks that go off at the end. You're going to want to use a particle system for that. I'm not going to show you how to use it, but you'll figure it out real quick. It's very easy and very fun. And then the ultimate thing is add music and audio sound effects. Oops. To do this, you may only sample things from either freesound.org or Free Music Archive, I believe it's .org. We'll check in a second. Free Music Archive.org, yes. So Free Music Archive, you just have freesound.org. All you have to do is make an account. Use anything you like, but just as long as it's kind of the same type of sound effects. That way we avoid copyright and infringing on other people's copyrights, which is very important.
So you mentioned like in the game that we need a separate layout for the pipe room. Can we just like tack that onto the end of our current layout and just work there?
So the question was whether or not you could add that to the same layout, the pipe room, and just warp back and forth. Yes, you can. It is optional to you. You will run into different issues that you have to handle, like warping and making sure the screen doesn't do weird stuff. But yeah, global variables are an issue when you're going between layouts and scenes. So that's going to be something you'll have to figure out or work out. Other questions? Okay, thanks very much. If you have any questions or anything, please email me. You can always get at me at twitter.com/GameDevProf. And check me out there, or reach out over email at kenneth.thompson@uconn.edu, or if you prefer GameDev Professor, you can do ken at gamedevprofessor.com as well. Works. And that's about it. Thank you very much.